Hi everybody, it's Terry. Hey, I bought I bought a case of these metal corrugated squares from Dollar Tree, and I thought they were going to be cuttable. They are not. They're very thick. They're very good quality, but other than using them as a square, I have nothing else that I can do with them because I don't have a metal cutter. So actually I do, but it doesn't have a blade in it. But I may think of purchasing a blade now that I have a whole case of these. But you know how you get like the picture frames and has the corrugated metal piece in it, and you could take those and you could cut them to make, like frames on house or roofs on houses and whatnot. You could shape them, you could make ornaments, whatever. These are not like that. They are very thick. They are very good quality, and for $1 a piece, that's really good. But my problem is I can't cut them. So, anyways, here's a couple pictures that I made, and I have a couple more ideas on what I can do with them. But I just wanted to do a quick video. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe. Um, YouTube still doesn't notice me. I don't think they know I'm here. It's hard. It's really hard to get going on YouTube. I think it's been a year, if not a year, close to a year. So I'm still trucking along. I figure if I'm going to do it, I might as well video it. It doesn't cost me anything to put it on YouTube. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Okay, let's get started here. The plaques measure 7 by 7, so they are square. I didn't measure the plaque when I started. I just used the plaque to mark the wood, and that worked out just fine. The only problem is I didn't account for the thickness of the wood. So 2 of your pieces will need to be 1/4 of an inch longer than the other 2 in order for it to come together. So for me, I used the 2 side pieces. I made the 2 side pieces longer. I didn't on this. I actually cut them all at 7 inches and realized later, oh, that won't go together because you have to account for the thickness of the wood, which is 1/8 of an inch per board. So that equals out to the 1/4 of an inch extra that you need. So basically, cut 2 pieces at 7 inches and 2 pieces at 7 1/4 inches, and then it'll come together fine. So I didn't realize that until after, when I tried to put them together. I realized, hey, wait a minute, I gotta have 2 of them that are a little bit longer. So I ended up deciding then, I had the 2 extra pieces, I ended up deciding to go ahead and make another one because they're so cute, and I found 2 farmhouse style images on Cricut. So I'm having trouble for some reason, having trouble forming my words. So bear with me please, and I apologize. Anyways, I cut them down with I believe I used my scroll saw instead of my miter saw. But the miter saw is so loud. When the dogs are down here, I don't like to use it because it's just so darn loud, and it freaks them out, and I don't blame them. It kind of freaks me out a little bit too. But anyways, I use a scroll saw, so I have rough edges that needed to be sanded down. I still haven't realized that I need 2 larger pieces yet, but when I do, like I said, I just go ahead and use those 2 extra pieces to make another sign. So I end up having to cut 2 more pieces of wood. So here I am just checking to make sure that they are the size that they're supposed to be. Now is when I realized it. So I put two pieces together and measured that out, which equals a 1/4 inch. So 1/8 of an inch per piece. Needed to be 1/8 of an inch larger. And I'm just, my mind works this way. I want to be sure that I'm doing it absolutely correctly. So I got my ruler out, you know, plus the plaque. And then just checking to make sure that I have my marks right. So Christmas is coming up on us pretty quick. Oh, and yeah, I just used the miter shears for this piece, which you can do with the Walmart wood paint sticks. You can't do that with the Lowe's. Well, you probably could if you got a lot of hand strength, but they're quite a bit thicker than the Walmart. So I mark it. I make sure that I mark it on both sides of the wood, and then I flip it. I cut it, and then flip, and then turn the board around and cut and flip and cut. So I end up making 4 cuts on it, and then that usually breaks right through. Maybe with somebody, you know, somebody with a stronger grip or whatever, but I do use the table. I put it down on the table and push with the table. Sometimes it's good enough, sometimes it's not. You can hear the wood starting to crackle, and sometimes it just don't get enough pressure on it, and you just have to keep going over. If you stay in the same cut mark, you don't have to worry about any ledges or, you know, any shards. And I did get those miter shears from Amazon. They're Gartol or whatever. It cost about $30, I think. Came with 2 extra blades, and I highly recommend it. It cuts through tumbling tower blocks like a piece of cake. Anyway, sand off your rough edges, or if you didn't get your cut exactly in the same spot on the miter shears, you'll have a little bit of a ledge. You'll want to sand that off also. So my hot glue gun was in the process of not performing well, so I bought a new one since, but this video here, so basically it doesn't work. It's not getting hot enough. So, oh, and I did use the antique wax for these. But anyways, the glue gun, you know, when I go to glue them together, the glue gun, or the hot glue, just barely holds it for a second while you get it into place, and then you have to let it set for a long time to let the wood glue adhere, get a, you know, good solid adhesion. There we go, adhesion. I don't even know if that's a word. Goodness, I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, so we have a short one and a long one, and we're going to make sure that the short one goes inside the long one. So I'm using Gorilla Wood glue, and I just use a dab on each end, I believe. Yeah, I'm just making sure that that the long one goes on the outside. So a dab, and then a dab of hot glue, which, like I said, the hot glue is just barely holds it on there while I get it to where I want it to be. So I have to be really careful with it, because it's just not working. I had miserably failed at a tumbling tower block project I was doing. I mean, like I said, I failed miserably. Anyways, make sure that your shortest board, your shortest wood piece, goes at the bottom there. And then, you know, if you have a good hot glue gun, you don't have to worry so much about it breaking off. But man, that way too much glue on there. One thing I don't like about the Gorilla Glue, the wood glue, seems to come out really fast. Like, I barely I don't even squeeze. I just tip it upside down. And a lot of times it's just too much. So anyways, we're going to use the glue, the hot glue. We're going to get them in place. It's going to break apart on me a couple times here and there. I end up having to pick the wood glue off, and then I set it up on its side. I'm just checking it there. But I set it up on its side to, you know, leave pressure on it, and that side there just didn't want to stay. So I end up having to pick the hot glue off. Then I worry, you know, well, the hot glue's not working. Did I really get enough wood glue on? You know, yada yada. But when I came back down, which we're talking hours later, it was probably a good 12 hours before I came back down, and it was firmly adhered. So they're pretty sturdy now, especially since I have the metal plaque in the middle of it. Metal sheet, whatever you want to call it. Dollar Tree calls them plaques. So anyways, I feel like this is a good video, but my talking ruins it. For some reason, I just can't seem to get it together. Okay, so here we go. Frame came out fine, like I said. Once it sat overnight, basically. A lot of times I leave here at, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning. I go upstairs and I don't come back down until maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. So it had plenty of time to dry. So all I'm doing here is trying to find a spot, and I'm going to put a big glob of glue. And I really messed that up. I really got way too much glue, and then the thing didn't stay. So I ended up with this humongous glue glob that I ended up having to dig out with an X-Acto knife. But the goal was just to have the glue hold the piece, you know, to keep the piece from falling out. So not actually to glue the piece, just to be there to hold the piece up. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to put glue globs in there to keep that piece from falling out, basically. Yeah. So it ends up, you know, coming up underneath the plaque and so forth and so on. But the main objective was just to have the glue there to stop it from moving. So, you know, hot glue and metal don't really get along too well. I did get a brand new Surebonder high temp, you know, dual temp, but high temp glue gun, and I'm really looking forward to using it because I've been using those little bitty ones for all this time. Anyways, I'm just securing it. That's all I'm doing. And I had made the other one. I don't know if I had made it already or what, but anyways, I found the 2 Farmhouse images on Cricut, on the Cricut space, and they're just adorable to me. So 2 was perfect. It was perfect to make the 2. And I already had the extra 2 pieces. Oh, I'm sitting here looking at one of the pieces saying, I don't know if I made the other piece or not. You can see it right there in the frame. I'm telling you, I am not with it at all today. I don't know what my deal is. I'm not feeling well. I had a really good day yesterday. Today doesn't seem to be that way. Okay, so make sure your holes are up, because we're going to use those to hang it. And I made sure that my transfer tape fit inside there, you know, both ways. And it's a brand new piece, so I tried rolling it backwards, which didn't do anything. It's still curved. But anyways, farm fresh bacon, and then the picture of the pig. I just think that's adorable. But I end up on my first one not centering it good enough. So it came off to what you're looking at. It came off to the left there. the side with my butterfly finger. I had it too close to that side. But when they're hanging up, people probably aren't going to notice that too much. But it was almost to the point where the H from the Farm Fresh got a little bit too close. It was almost ruined. I almost ruined it. I made sure that the piggy's feet were firmly even at the bottom, but I didn't pull the picture over far enough, which would have been to my left. I didn't make sure that I pulled the picture over far enough. I was just excited that I had the pig even, so I should have pulled it closer to the other side, but I did not. And since this is corrugated, so you have to go down just one little rung at a time. Get down in those grooves and just put a little bit down and rub it along as you go. And I'm just using my weeder tool, I guess that's what you call it, to put these down, put this down one little bend at a time in the hills and the valleys. But they turned out incredible. I mean, even though I did get it crooked, it still looks good. Excuse me. You're not going to notice it. I mean, if you sit and stare at it for a long period of time, you're going to be like, hey, that's crooked. But I don't know too many people that come in your house and just sit there and stare at something and analyze it. I suppose it could, but anyway, it stuck to the metal really, really well, really well. So this is the second time I've done the voiceover for this. The first time my editor froze up, and I think what happened was I had some video on there that I had just made, and maybe it didn't have, maybe it wasn't uploaded completely, but it froze up on me, and it ended up, the voiceover just ended up way off. But I've been doing a better job at getting the voiceover right. So my Cricut was nothing but trouble. I think I must have a dull blade, because I had a heck of a time weeding those. Oh my goodness, it was so difficult. So I'll change the settings so that it cuts a little bit deeper, a little bit harder, but I must need a new blade for it. So anyways, this time I made sure that I was centered better, and I made sure my little cow's feet were straight, and then did the same thing, push down into the valleys. I'm such a dork. Anyway, what a cute image from Cricut. I love going on Cricut and looking at their images, but man, you can get lost. There's so many, and they're so cool. And then some of them you're looking at like, why in the world would anybody want a picture of a uterus? But different strokes for different folks, they say. But yeah, you can look up anything. Guaranteed there's something on there. There's probably, oh no. Anyway, so yeah, if your metal moves at all, just put another dab of hot glue on it, but you can't see the glue. Once you get the images on here, it just makes this thing so much better. But anyways, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to reuse that transfer tape. But I really do appreciate you for watching. I hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe so you can see it's off a little bit. But anyway, the two holes at the top, I'm going to, see, I'm just putting another dab of glue in there just to hold it down. So I tried to use the same twine that came out of it, but it's just too short. I couldn't do it, I couldn't knot it. So there I was trying to decide how I wanted to do it. So I taped the end up so I don't fray it, and then get it through there. The other side still had that plastic piece that came on it. But But anyways, it just wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough to knot it. So I used some of the thicker twine I think I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if that's from the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General. It could be from a flea market. Anytime I see twine or rope or anything, you know, at a decent price, I go ahead and pick it up. So I'll put 2 knots in it, get my string, you know, basically the length that I want it to be, and then tie it into 2 knots to hold it. And I think that helps make the picture look better also. So anyways, you're going to do that with both of them. And make sure when you do them that they hang about the same distance. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I hope you'll hit like and subscribe.